Okay, so in this hopefully fairly quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make these Star Wars type fuzzy edged wipes and transitions. Okay, I'll leave the examples there for now and I'll just scoot along the timeline. So first thing you need is a couple of film clips, whatever, doesn't matter what it is. So you bring in your clips. I'm just going to trim these down. Okay, so you've got your clips. We're going to be making a transition, so you need to make sure that your clips have got handles. By handles I mean spare footage that the transition can work with. Just click at the join either side or both together, and if you get green, you're good to go. So there's a couple of ways of doing this. You can do it from the edit tab. You can bring any of these sort of transitions, irises, diamonds, whatever, barn doors, any of these, they'll all work. Drag it onto your clip, onto your transition point, select the transition, and if you come to the inspector, you've got the option here to feather, and all you do is you click it and then you increase the border and you get this feathering effect, which is what you're after. I don't think the edit tab does it quite as well as Fusion. You've still got this quite hard edge here, but this is just a personal choice. If you want to do it that way, more than welcome. End of the tutorial, thanks for stopping by. If you want to do it the Fusion way, however, what we need to do is we need to bring any transition, it doesn't matter which one, on to this join. So I'll go with this cross dissolve here. You need to right click on the transition and you need to convert to Fusion cross dissolve. This lets you take this transition into Fusion. So we right click again, opening the Fusion page. So we're now in Fusion. This is the Fusion node tree for that cross dissolve node. You've got your media in 2 and your media in 1. Media in 1 is the first clip, so the fish, and the media in 2 is the second clip, so the snow scene. We don't need the cross dissolve, so we can select that and just hit delete and get rid of it. What we do need is a merge. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the merge in. So if you come up to your icons in the middle here, look for merge, drag it down, media 1 into the background. In fact, we're going to do it the other way around, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask the whatever's on the foreground to reveal whatever's in the background. So we need our snow scene, which is media 2 in the background, which is the yellow input, and then we need our fish media in 1 into the green foreground input. So if we now view the merge in our viewer, the fish are over the snow scene. So the simplest one I guess to do is the wipe effect. What I'm going to do, if you just press and hold Control while you've got your mouse over your viewer and just scroll your mouse wheel, you can zoom out a bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to my bar in the middle, I'm going to find the rectangle, drag it down, and I'm going to pipe the rectangle into the blue mask input of the merge, and this does this effect. So now anything within the mask is visible of the foreground, so the fish is in the foreground, anything that's within the mask is visible. So we're going to make the mask so that it fills the screen. To do that, come over to width and height and just crank them both up to 1. Now I'm going to actually change them and make them 1.1. The reason being, I'm going to blur the edge of the mask, so I need a bit of extra space around it so that before the transition starts there's no edge blurring. Okay, So to make our wipe, we basically want our rectangle to just come over. So it's going to start here and we want it to either shoot off to the right or shoot off to the left, whichever. To do that, we're going to animate this center value. But we're not going to animate it with keyframes, we're going to animate it with modifiers. So come to the word center, put your mouse over it and right click and go to modify with XY path. What that's done at the top of our screen here, we now have our modifiers button lit up, and we can click on that and see the controls for our XY path modifier. Basically what the XY path does, if you come back to tools, center is one unit, one value if you like. We want to animate just the X value, we don't want to change the Y value, but we can't do that with a modifier while it's still the center. So we've split into an XY path. We now have X and Y that we can modify independently. So I'm going to double click on Y and that will get rid of this keyframe here, and then I'm going to do the same on X to get rid of this keyframe. Now X is the movement we were talking about, so the left or right movement. So we're going to right click on X, modify with, and this time we're going to pick Anim Curves. Anim Curves will basically, across the duration of your clip, in this case the transition, across the duration of the transition will return a value that starts at 0 and ends at 1, which then is used to move our rectangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way to frame 0, and what you notice is at frame 0 our center X value is now 0, but we want it at frame 0 to be at 0.5. So if you come to your modifier, come to your offset for your scaling and just type 0.5 into the box, and that puts our modifier back in the middle, and that's literally your animation done. If you now hit play, you'll see our rectangle goes off like so. Now if you want it to go the other way, all you need to do is, if you come to scale and change it from 1 to -1, and it'll go the other way. Now what makes this a Star Wars type transition, if we stop it at about halfway, is this edge is blurred. So all we do is we come back to our rectangle, we come to tools and we come to soft edge and we set it to about 0.4. Or maybe more. Yeah, play around with it, find a value that works for you. And it's the fact that you've basically got a very simple wipe with a soft edge, and it's kind of classic through pretty much every Star Wars film I've seen. That's how they do the transitions. They have these sort of wipes and circles and things, but it's always just a soft edge, and that's it basically. So that's all there is to it. So once you've done that, connect your merge to your media out, and you can go back to your edit tab and you've got your transition. Like so. Now if you don't want a wipe, you want something else, again opening the Fusion page, you can get rid of your rectangle and you can put another shape on, and you can have any shape you want. You can use a polygon to make some sort of weird and wonderful shape, and then you would just use the anim curve on the size. I'm going to use the ellipse, which gives us a circle, and again we're not changing the position of the circle this time, we're changing its size. So you've got width and height. So if we do right click on height, select expression, and where you've got this little plus sign, just drag a line out and tap it onto width, and now the height will always be the same size as the width. So now we can apply the anim curve to the width. So same process, right click on width, modify with anim curve, and away you go. You come into your modifiers. At frame 0 you want the size. With your ellipse, sorry, if you come into your tools and just select invert, and that way your background or second image will grow from the middle of your foreground image. So yeah, sorry, back to the anim curves. At frame 0 we want our circle to be non-existent or 0, and then at frame 29 we want it to be full size. We need to change this scale here. So what we need is at frame 29, if you just bring this scale down until your circle is just outside, like so. So now the circle will take the duration of your transition to travel across the screen. And again, once you've got your animation sorted out, back to your tools, soft edge, and bung it up to about 0.04, sorry, or thereabouts, and there you have a nice Star Warsy type circle. So yeah, possibilities are endless. Now, I guess you understand the theory of how it was made. What I've very kindly done is I've actually put together a transition macro which will let you do all that with one macro, which is here. It's called Star Wars Multitrans, original name. Drag it onto your clips, select it. You've still got your blur that you can change, but what you can also do now without going anywhere near Fusion is select from any of these different types of transitions. So you've got squares, you've got a rectangle, circle, etc., diamond, eye shape, and for each one you can twiddle with the blur to get it as soft or as hard as you want it. And then you've got a couple of wipes, diagonal wipes, left to right, right to left, top bottom, bottom top kind of wipes, and then diagonal wipes as well. So I think there's 14 in there. You can have it on me, or you can give me a couple of quid if you so desire. Just head over to the Buy Me a Coffee page, link is in the description, and I'll show you what to do once you get there. So head over to my Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/Simon Stansfield. If you click on the extras, and you'll see here, click get this, fill in as much money as you want, up to £1 million is fine. Name and email, hit pay, and you'll get a download button. Once you've downloaded, open Resolve. Okay, so once you're in Resolve, come down to the bottom, hit the Fusion button. You don't need to put anything on your timeline. Now if you just grab your Resolve window and pull it over to the side until you can find your file, the other way of doing it is if you come to Finder or Windows Explorer or whatever and navigate to where your file was. So in my case it was on the desktop. It's here, and just drag it and drop it. You get this message, do you want to install? Click install. Now if you come up to your effects library here, if it's not open you can just click it. Templates, edit, transitions, and you can search. I'm going to search because I've got lots. Star. You see you've got your Star Wars multitrans here. Now hopefully if you go back to the edit tab you can do exactly the same. So on video transitions, star, and it's here. Depending on which version of Resolve 17.2 you've got installed, you may need to restart Resolve rather, for it to show. So basically grab your clips and then you just drag your transition on and away you go. Click on it. In the inspector you've got a whole range of different transition types. I hope you found this useful and enjoyable. If you've not been here before, please feel free to subscribe, hit the like button and notification button, and then you'll get any other random tutorials that I decide to make, and I will catch you on the next one.